How to remove exhaust manifold on passenger side, right hand side, 1985 GM half ton. Tools you will need would pretty simple: a ratchet, 9/16 socket, and probably a big extension. Alright, so first you take the manifold bolts off down in here, and then you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts that go into the head out. To aid in the removal, I have removed the fender and inner fender. Now I'm going to crawl under the vehicle to undo the flange bolts. Now, before going underneath the vehicle, you should always remember, working on vehicles, to put your safety glasses on. Once you're under the truck, you'll notice the 3 bolts. One here, and one over hidden in there. You'll have to get them off. Most of the time they will break, but sometimes you'll get lucky. I shall start now. If I can find my tools. Fuck. Alright, so here's the bolts out of the manifold. And like I said, most of the time they break. 2 broke, 1 came off good. Same as the other side. So why I recommend using brass nuts. And now we're on to removing the manifold itself. Now, it doesn't really matter what side you start at, as long as you keep them in order and remember which ones go where. There should be 2 short ones here, 2 long ones in the center, and 2 short ones at that end. If I could find a spot to just hit that, and then maybe have that holder. Here we go. First one. Now they usually tend to come out fairly easy, unlike the flange bolts, but once all 6 bolts are out, you just reach in, grab it, and it comes off. Once you have your manifold ready to put back on, you sand down your surfaces to make sure they're nice and smooth and that they're going to seal up. And then you just take your manifold and you put it back into the right place and put your bolts back in. Alright, so I started all these with my fingers, and then you just tighten them until they're not overly tight, but tight enough they don't leak. Once you have your manifold back on, you want to make sure you have a good donut gasket, which is this, and your hardware, brass nuts, and washers, lock washers actually. The reason you use brass nuts is because you would most likely strip the threads out of the bolt before you would break the stud off when removing. We didn't have brass bolts on it when we took it off. Alright, so the, can you even see it? Yeah, right there. Studs. I've got the bolts on and the donut gasket in place. Now I'm just going to tighten it with a ratchet from underneath. Once your manifold bolts are tight, you start the truck, make sure it doesn't leak, and if it leaks, you tighten it a little more. This is Randy Champagne on how to do exhaust manifolds on an '83 Chevy.